Right, Kevlar's next. It's not an upgrade, I guess it's not an upgrade, it's more like a mod. Um, Purely because I'm fitting a new water tank, but it's smaller than our last water tank. It's not an upgrade. Our water tank is in here, which was 120 litres. This is 105. It just came down to what size I could actually get, because what I'm going to do is put it in here. Get rid of these two bottom drawers, because where I had my tools in there, I think probably the coldness on the doors and the fact that we've got a diesel heater right there, the condensation just built up on my tools so much and just sort of rusted everything, which is not ideal. So yeah, going to get rid of these, and then we're going to gain our space up here. So both the drawers got to come out, and this centre support is coming out as well. And then the tank's going to go in there, and then I'm going to be putting a bit of wood going across all of it, and then I should have a bit of a gap at the front here, which I might just put some handy tools like shovels, crowbars, rope, the hose, just, you know, things to get you out of the shit really. So yeah, I've got to figure that out, because these come with sort of pre-made holes, but they're not all the way through. You know, you sort of cut out the rest of it, but the threads and everything are all there for outlets and fill points, and they kind of don't really work with the way I want this to work. So our fill point is up here, so I want the inlet over here, so then the pipe can just come down and then in. We've also got the access hatch, which what I'm thinking is put in both of these pull-out drawers on this side, leaving this just open for putting in the kayak and taking out big bits and bobs basically, but I'll put a hole in the bottom of it for getting into this access hole for cleaning it out in the future. And then I will use some of these outlets to go up to our water and the boiler and everything, which is on this side. So that's how I've got to do it. I've also got some Celotex to put around it as well, just stop it from freezing, because obviously there's no insulation in this bottom part, and yeah, it would freeze, absolutely, 100%. So yeah, just going to put some Celotex on the bottom, back, the sides, the front, but not the top. We're going to have the heat from up here to try and keep it warm, and purely because, again, on the size that I could get to go into here, I just wouldn't have enough to put 25mm insulation around it. So yeah, going to start ripping this out and yeah, see how far we get today. I'm just about to take the old water tank out, and yeah, I remember when it went in, it was snug. So this might involve a lot of swearing, but we'll have a go. Okay, we are stuck straight away. Fingers. To be fair, that wasn't as bad as I thought. Okay, that's all closed off. Happy days! Right, up with the old. With water tanks, I was always worried about a bit of water damage down here, but no, it's absolutely fine. Look at all that space we've got to use now. So one big problem that we did have is, obviously on that side is our kitchen and sink, so we have a pipe that comes all the way across here and then into the old tank, and it used to pass the diesel heater pipes. So if you were filling up a water bottle, like the first few seconds would be warm water going into your water bottle, which wasn't very pleasant. And you know, sometimes you'd sort of waste water like that, like, oh, I'm not drinking that, just pour it away and get fresh cold water. So yeah, that wasn't the best. So that's going to be eliminated. So yeah, I'm just trying to get my head around what we're going to use this space for. All of this that's underneath our bed, if we didn't use it this year, we're getting rid of it, because there's no point carrying it around. And then that would free up some space as well. But for like down here, we do have I think 10 litres of spare water, which again we'd probably put in here because it's not something that we got out all the time. I think the kayak poles, that'd be good to go down here. Chairs. Yeah, I feel like that's what we'll do with this space, is just put those things. I don't think I need to make any like divides or anything like that. I think we just leave it open like this and just fill it. Not fill it, that's the wrong thing to say, Cam. Fill it sensibly. The other thing that I've got to tackle is the other side, where the LPG is and the boiler. That's going to be rearranged now. I'm going to enclose the LPG tank, so there's no chances of any leaks or anything like that, especially going over to Europe. We need to have it in a container of some description. I'm going to change the pipes going to our shower and our sink for PVC piping. At the moment it's rubber hoses, and don't fully trust rubber hoses. They can obviously perish over time, so I think while we're at this sort of stage, I'd rather just eliminate that ever happening. Yeah, I've got a busy day. I've got lots and lots to do. Right, I've got all of the outlets on the water tank, and I have insulated it and foiled it on all the corners. I've just put another bit of insulation at the back because obviously we've got the pipe here which has no insulation around it, so that's going to be on the back. I'm just going to lose another 25mm at the front here, but that's fine. Yeah, I'm now just going to try and squeeze it in there, but it is a tight fit. So this is what I mean by it's tight. Yeah, there's a slight sag in the middle of all of this, so I'm trying to use the jack just to pump it up a little bit and move it in. I've also got to try and get the pipe through that hole before swinging it round. Yeah, it's a fiddly one, I'll give it that. What have I done to you, Kevlar? What a bloody mess. Right, today's job is to carry on with the plumbing, but more focusing underneath the bed where we've got the LPG, LPG boiler, filters, pumps, expansion tanks. Need to redo all of that basically. I was trying to have a little think this morning of the best way that it's going to work, but I think it's one of those things where until you actually have it all there in front of you, you can come up with the best idea you want, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to work. So this morning I had a look underneath where the new tank is, and it doesn't look like we have any leaks, which is always nice to hear. Right, let's see what we're working with. Okay, so that's the new inlet for the pipe. It's currently just in the diesel hole. There's another hole next to it where it's going to be coming out. That tank needs to go right to the back there and over to this side, basically where this boiler is now. That boiler is coming to here. And then I've got the filter, pump and expansion tank, which I need to reorganise. Okay, so what I've done is drilled the hole for the pipe to come in for the LPG fill, and I've just made this batten to go in here. It's just glued on each corner. I'm now gonna pop this 6mm ply on top, screw it down, and then with my flush bit router I'm just going to go around and trim it all off flush, and then that's going to be my lid. And what this batten has done is obviously it's going to guide it in place, but also just create a sort of seal as well, so hopefully no gases will come out. I don't think there is going to be any gas leaks anyway, but yeah, this is how I've made my little box. Obviously there's no base to it because there's already a base in the garage area. What I'll do is run some silicone across and then squash it down basically, and that should do it. Alright, that's the box done. Just made a little handle on top just to grab it, and I routed over these sides as well, so when it slots in it guides it in, if you know what I mean, and it is a very snug fit, which is what we wanted. Yeah, the only last thing that I'm going to do is paint it black, because most of these containers for LPGs were black, so I've got a bit of what is it? Tudor black oak So yeah, let's just put some of that on it.
And there we go. All done. And just in time because it's starting to rain now. Yeah.
So some of you might be thinking that is so overkill, and some of you might be thinking that's not enough. But I believe with all of this, with the strap around the bottle and everything, it meets all of the EU requirements, because obviously we'd like to go over there this year. And I need to get a sticker for it, that's the only other thing. Just so it's clearly indicated. I'm gonna let that dry, go for a dog walk, and then hopefully put it in the van, see if it dries in time. Right, it is, I think, like a few days later, maybe even a week. Sorry the video's a bit all over the place, but I'm having to do bits here and there, and it's a bit manic at the moment, but hey ho, we are getting there. Right, let me give you a little update. So last thing you saw was me making the LPG boiler housing. I've now got that in. Did make a bit of a mistake, and I'll show you that. And I removed all of the other plumbing, so it's nice and fresh. Today, what we're going to do is get the boiler in, get the filter, pump and pressure tank all in, and all plumbed up to the point of me removing the kitchen worktop to then just run pipes underneath and connect them up. But over the weekend, because this will be out, we're going to give it a little sand and a fresh coat, as you should do sort of every year. So that's the plan. Now let me show you. So as you can see, it's all nice and empty now, makes a bit more sense. You can probably see my mistake. What I didn't allow for, stupidly, was the gas regulator. Unfortunately, it's much bigger than, well, much bigger than it bloody should be anyway. So I just had to add on this bit of wood. So yeah, the regulator faces this way, and obviously the connection's in there, and we'll seal up around that pipe. But other than that, it's all good. It's in there nice and strong, siliconed on the inside at the bottom, so it's all sealed. When I was editing this video, I did notice that I've now covered up the access for getting the diesel heater in and out, because obviously I've got the water tank pushed up against this side. So what I might have to do is actually just cut all of that out in there, so if I ever need to service the diesel heater, I can. So yeah, may have to do that as well, but we'll see how we get on today. I can always put everything in and then cut it out, so shouldn't be a problem. Things have escalated. Kitchen worktop is out, but I'll get to that in a minute. Let's have a look down here. Got on pretty well down here actually. So boiler's in, I just need to fix it at the bottom. We have got our pipes coming across into the filter, pump and then expansion tank, and then our cold feed goes back into the boiler, and then that one down there which doesn't have a pipe on it yet, that's our hot, which is going to come up, come behind here and then go to the hot tap and shower. So that's all pretty good. I did cut that section out just for ever getting to the diesel heater. I will have to take this out, which is a pain in the arse, but it is what it is. To be fair, it's actually easier than how I would get out before, so yeah, I will just have to disconnect that. But because I have these little cutouts, which I did for like weight reduction, I can like get my arms in and just undo the taps at the bottom. So that's all good. Obviously need to connect the LPG to it, but that's fine. I'm just now over here. So this is obviously our kitchen area. What a lot of people do is they go to Kitchen Supplies or B&Q or Wickes or something like that, and they get the you know, the standard kitchen units, which are really deep, like probably out to about here. And I've always wondered why people do that rather than building their own carcasses. I get some people can't, you know, but you just lose quite a bit of space. So I've always obviously made my own, and I've made them shallower because you're in a van or a motorhome and let's be honest, space is very important. So this is, I can tell you, this is bang on 500. So yeah, we save quite a bit of space. However, in doing so, I have made it tight for pipes to come up the back here. I've obviously tried to gain as much space as I can in drawers and stuff like that. So yeah, there's certain things where I've actually like notched the back of drawers and everything like that. But that was mainly because I used these bloody rubber pipes, and at the bottom of my taps I have little shut-off valves just in case anything goes wrong. I'm gonna get rid of those and just have a shut-off valve down here, so if there's a leak, just one tap and it will cut off everything. The pipes originally were about this height, but that was because they were just hose rubber pipes, so easy to bend. So they sort of like came up and then quickly came across. Can't do that with this sort of piping. However, what I could possibly do behind here, have them coming in and then we'll put some elbows in and then come across the top. That's how I'm thinking it's going to work. We will see. Okay, new day, more parts. So got our new tap inlets. So I'll cut this off and put a well, one of them's going to have a T on it. Found out the other day that because they've got a little seal in them, you can actually use copper on like poly pipe fittings. So I was well happy with that. It's made life a little bit easier. Now, what I did forget about yesterday was these things exist. Yeah, so we've got a 1/2 inch to 15mm, and the way that that's going to work, bear with, is where I need it to sort of bend around from underneath to the underside of the sink. I'm going to have my little shut-off valves, and we'll get rid of this side. Put that 1/2 inch onto it, one of a little push fit to, well, 50mm to half. That, and then that will go to the plumbing that I've done underneath. And then we can get a little bend going on like so, and then carry on with the poly pipe up to the taps. And then this will be our shut-off valve. The only thing I'm annoyed about is they don't have sort of hot and cold taps, but I'll put a bit of tape around them just to indicate. Right, that is the shitty rubber hoses out. I'll say shitty rubber hoses, the hoses didn't actually, well, the fittings were shit. I suppose the hoses were relatively good, but that is the last of that system out of my van. The system that shall not be named. So some of you might be wondering, why do I put sort of household plumbing in my van? And I don't actually have a good answer for you, to be honest. It's a system that I'm familiar with and I understand. I guess that's one reason. These parts are actually meant to take like much higher pressure than any van pump is pushing out, so you're never going to like overpressure them or cause any damage, so that's good. As long as you clip it all to the wall, it's going to do just as good as if it's clipped to somewhere in a house. Obviously you're in a moving vehicle, there's lots of vibrations. Most parts I do try to stay away from copper, just because obviously if you do like soldered joints and stuff like that, there's absolutely like no flexibility in it whatsoever. So that's why I sort of stick with poly pipe and flexi hoses. And if you're on the road and something does go, I mean I carry spares with me anyway, but if something did go, I can easily get it. Whereas if you order like these special sort of hoses that they do for camper vans and motorhomes, you're probably gonna have to order that online and get it delivered to you somehow. So yeah, I try to just sort of think ahead of these things. and that is why. I think this tap might need a bit of an overhaul. It's not looking that great, but we'll get to that. First stop is giving this a brand new coat. Right, so I've just gone along with the scraper, took off the silicone around where the taps were and gone around where the hob was, and yeah, loads of crap and grease. These little scrapers are fantastic. You should definitely get hold of one. I think they're like paint and decorators tools, scrapers. Yeah, you've got a nice little scraper on the top there, and you've got this little hook which was very handy, just going around the inside of here. Yeah, just generally a great tool to have, so put it in your kit. But the worktop is definitely worn, because I've got a 120 sandpaper which is used. Obviously this has got a coat of varnish on it, so I'll go over it with this first before using a brand new one and just get the majority of everything off, and then yeah, hit it with 120 sandpaper. Really you don't need to go more than 120, otherwise you start clogging up the grain in oak. It's a lovely day, so then we'll get some Osmos oil on it. This is what I use and it is brilliant. Love this stuff, use it for all my furniture when I build. So yeah, let's get sanding. Okay, first light sand. Still got some deep scratches I need to sort out, and you probably saw me save some of the sawdust. Just going to mix it up with some Gorilla Glue now and fill in that gap. Let it go off for a little bit and then go for another sand. So when it comes to the live edge, you obviously don't want to use sandpaper on it because you'll sort of lose your wrinkles. So if you use some wire wool just to get in between, you don't lose too much of the detail. So the worktop is back in. We've had a few little leaks. One, because I forgot to reconnect the waste on here. Idiot. Another one was from this fitting. I sort of bent it and I think I broke the seal where it's soldered. So yeah, again, my fault. But the worktop's looking really good. Really happy with it. It's all sealed up nicely. Oh, I don't know if I've shown you the final setup underneath here now. Let's quickly do it while I've got 5% battery on the GoPro. So yeah, we've got the filter right at the bottom, pump, and then expansion tank, and they all come up this way. This then feeds to the cold on the boiler, and then this is the hot coming back off and going across. And obviously on the cold, it also just feeds the cold tap. And then we've got these two little shut-off valves right here, nice and easy to get to actually. Also there's the gas pipe, just need to put that back in its clip. Slightly worried with it being next to the diesel heater. Obviously I have put a clip here and a clip on the box, so once they're in, they're never going to fall onto the diesel heater pipe. However, with that being said, I'm just going to be safe and put some insulation around it just in case, just some fire resistant insulation. Like pipe lagging, stuff like that. So yeah, but yeah, overall really happy with this layout. Obviously we really don't have any storage in here now, but that's fine. We've got storage and storage right at the back. Right, I think I'm going to wrap it up for this video. Life's a bit mad at the moment, to be honest, and there's jobs here and there that I need to finish, but I wait on parts, and when the weather's good, I do the things that I need to get done outside. So yeah, even though it doesn't look like I'm done, I'm nearly there. So yeah, I'll wrap up the video here now. Thank you all for watching. I'll be out next week with another video giving you an update. Don't know what that video is going to be yet. It might be me being a mechanic and taking my engine apart. So yeah, look out for that one, because I am bricking it. Alright, thank you all for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Fingers.